4 championships. That's how many championships LeBron is going to finish his career with. And at one point that might have been a hot take, but now it feels like something most people can agree on. The window for this Lakers team led by LeBron to win another championship has closed. That ship has sailed. It's tough to think about how much the Lakers have done to try and improve this team, often without much to show for it. Let's start with the first major move they made to surround LeBron with talent. They gave up a lot to get Anthony Davis, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, 3 first-round picks, and a pick swap, all for one player. That's a hefty price. Now, as the trade deadline approaches, there's talk that the Lakers should target someone like Brandon Ingram. Funny enough, they could really use a player like him or even Josh Hart right about now. The Pelicans haven't exactly capitalized on everything they were given, but the Lakers essentially handed them a future, and they didn't make the most of it. To be fair, it's easy to look back 6 years later and critique a trade. Who could have predicted that the Pelicans would use one of their picks to draft Dyson Daniels, who would eventually become part of a trade for DeJounte Murray? That's just one example. I could go on listing what could have happened, but that's not really the point. When the Lakers front office made that trade, they couldn't possibly know how things would turn out. They weren't in my position looking back from 2025 with the benefit of hindsight. Now I realize I might sound a bit negative, but I have to give the Lakers credit where it's due. In their first season with Anthony Davis, they transformed from a 37-win team into NBA champions. People can try to discredit the bubble championship all they want. Sure, the environment was different, distractions were everywhere, and the lack of fans took away the typical playoff atmosphere. But at the end of the day, a championship is still a championship. The Lakers at least walked away with the title during LeBron's time, which is more than a lot of teams can say. That said, since winning the 2020 championship, the front office's decisions have been questionable at best. So what went wrong? After that title run, the Lakers knew they had to make a move to prove that their win wasn't just a fluke. In the summer of 2021, they traded for Russell Westbrook, sending Montrezl Harrell, who had recently won Sixth Man of the Year, along with KCP and Kyle Kuzma, to Washington. In hindsight, this was a move they probably wished they could undo because Westbrook wasn't a great fit. Now, I'm not a GM, and I don't pretend to know all the ins and outs of the NBA, but even I knew that Russell Westbrook and just trading for a 32-year-old version of him wasn't the answer. Pairing LeBron with someone like Russ who doesn't space the floor just doesn't make any sense. As a result, the Lakers missed the playoffs entirely. Going from NBA champions to sitting at home during the postseason is a massive drop-off, and it's fair to point the finger at the front office for some of those missteps. Trading for Westbrook wasn't the only questionable move the Lakers made during the LeBron era. Letting Alex Caruso walk in free agency was another misstep. They also brought in Dennis Schroeder, but it cost them a first-round pick for just a 1-year rental. However, the move that really stands out is trading Zubac for Mike Muscala. That one has to sting, especially now that Zubac is having the best season of his career. You can't tell me that the Lakers wouldn't benefit from the 15 points and 12.5 rebounds Zubac delivers every night. This highlights one of the Lakers' biggest issues: poor roster construction. When Anthony Davis is on the bench or dealing with his usual injuries, the Lakers end up relying on LeBron, Rui Hachimura, Jackson Hayes, or Christian Wood to play center. That's not a solid enough rotation to compete in the West. I've heard people say that this trade deadline is one of the most important in the Lakers' history with LeBron, and I agree. It's one of their last chances to make a real push. The problem is they haven't made any moves, opting to keep the roster largely the same, and it's hurt them. When they did make a trade, it often backfired. But the truth is, they need a center. Tuesday's game made that clear when Jarrett Allen dominated and the guards couldn't stop dribble penetration. There was no rim protection. Sure, Christian Wood and Jackson Hayes have dealt with injuries, but even when Hayes is healthy, it feels like JJ Redick would rather run LeBron at center than give Hayes more minutes. That's likely to keep him from getting hurt again, but it also shows how limited this roster is. Redick seems to prefer small ball, but that's probably because there aren't many other options. Poor roster construction won't win championships. Trading D'Angelo Russell for DFS might not be a game changer, but adding shooting is a step in the right direction. The problem is the Lakers should have been making smarter moves long ago. If I were Rob Pelinka, I wouldn't be rushing into trades. It's time to throw in the towel. There's no trade out there that can turn this Lakers team into championship contenders this season. Don't give up the future just to try and salvage a season that likely won't end well. For the first time, I can confidently say that LeBron isn't a top 10 player in the league. Age catches up to everyone, and I don't see him playing more than another year or two. The Lakers should start preparing for life after LeBron. Build around Dalton, connect, and focus on the next chapter. The good thing about being in Los Angeles is that star players are always drawn to big markets. But what do you think? Will LeBron finish his career with only 4 championships? Is the Lakers' championship window truly closed? Tell me in the comment section below. Until next time, peace.